So we are at the end of the Nirguna Upasana. So if you notice, the whole Lalitā Sahasranāmam is broken into sections or themes. Okay. So the last few namas that we've been seeing is on Nirguna Upasana, which means you will see Nir, Niravadya, Niratyaya, Nistula, Nila Chikura, Almari. You'll have Nishkalanka, Nishprapancha, Nirashraya, Nirupadhir, Nirishwara. So all that will appear negating. The negating prefix will appear to show that she is not an object. Okay. It's a very, because of the limitation of the language, we will have to point at something and say she is not an object. It's contradicting, right? The moment you're pointing at something, it is an object, and you're saying it is she, then how is that not an object? Correct? Because that is the limitation of language. The whole problem in spiritual literature is that we are constantly striving to describe something that which cannot be described. This we have to be very clear. So always remember, the language, even though it is the highest literature, be it the Vedas or the Vedanta or any of the works that you see, always remember, it is always trying to point at something or describe something that which cannot be described. Right? Because it's describing the subject, the I, me. What is I? Who am I? That is what it's trying to describe. This is not possible to describe, right? Even you yourself cannot describe yourself. You can describe your features, which also changes. You can describe your personality, which also changes. You can describe your the thinking that you're having, that is also changing. So whatever you're describing about yourself also keeps changing. So when you're asking who are you, if you really introspect, it's very difficult to describe who you are. Correct? So this is what scriptures have been trying to do. And Lalitā Sahasranāmam being one of scriptures which is Vedanta, Vishnu Sahasranāma, Vedanta. All of these works are Vedanta, which is trying to describe that which cannot be described. So here we are saying, she is not an object. So Nirguna Upasana is when you're propitiating Brahman, and not as an object, but as the all-pervasive consciousness, which is existing everywhere and also in me. Okay, this is the attempt. So we finished 49, Nirvikalpa Nirabadha Nirbheda Bhedanashini Nirnasha Mrithyumathani Nishkriya Nishparigraha. And we will start looking at the 50th shloka, which is Nistula Nila Chikura Nirapaya Niratyaya Durlabha Durgama Durga Dukkahantri Sukhaprada. So with verse 50, we will complete the Nirguna Upasana. The Brahman as the principle, the it, which is why you can't call he or she, it is it. Vishnu Sahasranama refers to it as he, Lalitā Sahasranāmam refers to it as she. It's the same thing. So, Nistula Nila Chikura Nirapaya Niratyaya Durlabha Durgama Durga Dukkahantri Sukhaprada. So the first nama is Nistula. So each nama is picked up and it is done as an archana also, right? You're familiar with that. Om Nistulayai Namaha. Om Nila Chikurayai Namaha. Om Nirupayai Namaha. Nistula means one who cannot be atulya. Atulya means that which cannot be compared. The word meaning. Just look at what is called as the Vachyartha. So Nistula means atulya, that which cannot be compared against something. Nila Chikura means a deep blue colored hair, one who's having hair of deep blue color. And Nirapaya, Nirapaya, which means one who cannot be destroyed, imperishable. This is the word meaning. Now let's look at what Nistula means. Because we said it is not about her, it is about you, which means to say you are incomparable. You cannot be compared to anybody. I am unique. So I was discussing this with somebody the other day. How do you perceive yourself as unique? One way to look at it is you are the same as everybody. Yes, you are the same as everybody. Everybody has a human body. Everybody, I mean, the people around you, the humans around you, you see, everybody has a human body. Everybody has eyes, ears, nose, legs, hands. Everybody has skin. Everybody has thoughts. Everybody has speech. Everybody has a family. Everybody has something that they do. Everybody has pain. Everybody has pleasure. Everybody has success. Everyone has failures. So in fact, there's a way in how Jiddu Krishnamurti says that your problem is not just your problem. It is the world's problem, because you are not alone in this. Everybody is undergoing the exact same problems as you. So I am not unique in the way I have these limitations. I'm not unique in my limitations. I am unique in my limitlessness. It is a very interesting way of looking at it, right? I am not Nistula in my physical form. Because of my physicality, it's not that I'm Nistula. It's not like we are doing Bhagavad Gita, right? It's like not like saying that Arjuna is the greatest warrior and there is nobody equal to him. And then you have a Karna coming and standing saying, no, I am greater than Arjuna. Right?
Also, Yadi Arjuna had not faced Vishada, Krishna wouldn't have, we wouldn't have got the Bhagavad Gita. But, when you think of it, if it had not been for Arjuna, someone else would have definitely brought it out.
Absolutely. No, that is true. Because the Vishada...
exactly.
Everyone
has that Vishada.
We are common in our Vishada.
Beautiful.
So that way, which is why Bhagavad Gita is so relevant, because we all relate to the Vishada. What is common between us and Arjuna? We are not a warrior like him. We don't even have the intellect like him. We don't have, in fact, the war before Mahabharata, the war that Arjuna won all by himself was at the Virata Nagari, where he was Brihannala. Those who know the story, he was Brihannala, the 13th year. And he goes with the Virat, they're all hiding in this Virat Rajyam, where he goes with the Yuvraj, the prince, and he tells the king, don't worry, I will go with the prince as Brihannala, as a lady. He goes into the war field. And then he fights the war, and the 13th year just ends, and then he fights the war with this Duryodhana, because by that time, Duryodhana's fleet, or Duryodhana gets to know, Shakuni gets to know that they're hiding in this city. So he sends army. Arjuna alone fights and drives them away, right? So immediately after that is Mahabharata, Kurukshetra happening. Maybe just a couple of months later is Kurukshetra, a few months later. So Duryodhana knows the strength of this guy, strength of Arjuna, that by himself he can do so much. So we are not, now how do we compare ourselves to Arjuna? Absolutely no way. Neither in intellect, nor in valor, nor in skill, nor in tapasya, nor in sadhana, nothing. But we are common in the Vishada. A beautiful point Kalpaka brought up. That is why we are able to relate to Bhagavad Gita. We all want to listen to what is Bhagavan saying, because we are saying, hey, this is also my problem. What he is narrating, enna polam irukano ade ennoda polambal da. It is my rambling that Arjuna is also rambling. He rambled 5,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago. So, we are common. How are we nistula? How are we peerless? How do you recognize this idea that I am unique? I cannot be compared. Only when you are a Dvaita. Only when there is nobody else to compare, then you become incomparable. There are two ways in which you can become a class level. There is one guy who's writing an exam and he says, I got the first rank. There is only one guy in the class. What is there to be proud of to get first rank? So that is one way. The other way is you actually have many people and you are really very skilled and you are very different from these people, and hence you are unique and you stand first amongst them. But it's always a domain. Remember this. In the physical realm, your uniqueness is always in a certain domain. You are either amongst the intellects, you stand tall, or amongst the bhaktas, you stand tall, or among some people who are good in some skill, in that skill, you are the best, and so on and so forth. So in the physical realm, you'll always have to define the domain, and based on the domain, you should say that, yes, I am incomparable in that domain. But can you always be nistula? Can you be always incomparable in whatever you do, or whatever, in just by being yourself? Right? This is what we are talking about. We're talking about not comparison in the skills or the action or the thoughts or my mind or my physicality or my personality or my ability or capability. No. We are talking about a realm or a dimension within us where you stand alone. And because you stand alone, there is nobody else to compare. See, Rabindranath Tagore had written this work called Gitanjali, and I often quote this. He says, I toil through day and night, O Master. He's saying, O Master, he is referring to God. O Master, I toil day and night, but at the end, when I stand before thee, I stand alone. I stand alone before thee. See, when you drop your body, you're alone. When the moment of truth hits, you're alone. In fact, my daughter would say, when she was young, the physical ailments come, she'll always draw attention. Somebody's got to attend, you're not listening to me, I'm in so much pain. And then you'll always want somebody to acknowledge the pain that you're having. And she had chicken pox. And she realized during that period of chicken pox, it is about 10 days, right? 10 to 15 days. So she had it about 2 to 3 weeks. She said, after that, I realized that in pain, you're all alone. Because in chickenpox, nobody even can come besides you, right? Even if you're a child, nobody can come besides you. So when you're experiencing something, you're alone. It is your experience. And in the same way, you extend it, you go deeper within. When we are within our innermost self, we are all alone. And it is not a depressing place to be in. It is the most freest place to be in, which is why it's called liberation. Why is it called liberation? Because when you touch that, you're no longer bound by anybody, anything. You're liberated. So in that space, you're unique. Not because there are people and all that. It's just because you're alone there. Doesn't matter whether anybody is there or not. You are just you. Like the Dakshinamurti Stotram, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari, Tulyam Nija Antargatam. It is this whole universe is seen within me. So only if I open my eyes, there is a universe to see. If I don't open my eyes, whether this universe is there or not, it doesn't matter. So who is the most important? It is me. Who is the most, Ramana Maharshi says this, self-realization is the greatest selfless act that you can do. Or rather, he'd say, realizing the self is the greatest selfless act. It may seem like it is a selfish act, right? Because you're trying to just go within yourself. But it is the most selfless act. Because the moment you're dissolving yourself, this whole, it's like the best
All
example.
differences will vanish.
Everything will vanish. The best example is like a dream. Somebody wakes up from a dream and there is a snake chasing him, a cobra chasing him in a dream. When he wakes up from the dream, if he's going to come call somebody saying, there's a cobra that's chasing me, what will that other guy do? Where will he find the cobra? It is in his dream. Where did the cobra go? Where did the cobra go? Was it there? Was it not there? It was there for him. It vanished for him. So it's in the same way. This world exists for me. And when the reality, when the truth arrives, this will vanish. All this that we're trying to acquire and achieve and all that we're wanting to do, when we wake up to the truth, this whole effort will seem futile. But you have to do what we have to do. We do what we do. But with this understanding, this constant understanding that I am Nistula. Another way of looking at it. I am unique in the way I am composed. I may be good in cooking. When I go to my mother-in-law's house, she's a much better cook. So I fail as a cook. But I am good with teaching children. Now I go to a Montessori. There are ladies there who teach children much better than me. But then I think, oh, I am good in badminton, as an example, sport. Then I go to the championship court somewhere and I see so many people playing much better championship. Then I now think, oh, I am better in sketching. Then I go to an art class, I see so many people sketch much better than me. Now, what is happening here, in each domain, you will always find people who are better than you. But this combination of somebody who cooks, takes care of children well, who sketches and plays badminton, this combination is only me. So I'm unique. There is nobody like me. So this is also another way of trying to ensure that I recognize my uniqueness. Right? See, if you go to the office, you'll find somebody, there are people who are much better than you. But then we think, oh, but these people don't, they are not into spiritual practices or engagements. And then you go to some spiritual classes or courses, you will see people there sitting like this for 4 hours. And then you think, oh, but these people can't do presentations well in office. And then you say, oh, then these both sets of people probably are not good with their families. People who are working very well in the office, they lose on their family side. So I'm saying, when you always look at your strengths, and you will find you are always unique. Because there is nobody else in the world with the same exact combination of strengths that you have. Because in weaknesses, we are all the same. Vishada. That is the grief. The problem is we focus on that. So, two ways of looking at it. Nistulaye namaha. I am not comparable, incomparable, because there is nobody else to be compared with. I sit in my dhyana, I close my eyes. That's it. There is nobody else around. Even if my dhyana is for 5 minutes, that 5 minutes you're all alone. You experience this in sleep every day. At night when you go to sleep, the whole world is lost. Paramahansa Yogananda says, everybody is a saint in sleep. Sin begins only when you wake up. So, Nistulaye namaha. That is the nama. Next nama is Nila Chikuraye namaha. Nila Chikuraye namaha. Nila Chikura means deep blue. Chikura means hair. One with deep blue colored hair. Now the question could be, when we are talking about all Nirguna Upasana, Nishkriya, Nishparigraha, Nistula, all of that, this is all nish means to negate something. But Nila Chikura doesn't seem to belong to this. Suddenly you're talking about hair. Suddenly you're talking about deep blue colored hair. So you're trying to say, she's not this, she's not this, she's not this, she's not this. Oh, she's deep blue colored hair. Right? It doesn't seem appropriate in that context, right? So one way this is looked at is, the way it is explained, is Neela, deep blue color, is also the color of the Agnya Chakra. The Agnya Chakra, which means it is the chakra after which, once our consciousness has risen to the Agnya Chakra, there is no falling down. And after that, the desire to hold on to material things, the desire to accumulate, the desire to assimilate, the desire to achieve, all of that will subside slowly. So in the Agnya Chakra, after that, it's going up slowly. It's just a jump. So Neela Chikura also means the deep blue color that appears in the Agnya Chakra. So she is formless. She is formless, but she is in this color in my Agnya. Now Agnya is also, actually the Agnya that we point to is the third eye here, right? Shiva's third eye and all that we say here, between the two eyebrows, Bhru Madhye. That is where we say, but actually the position is right behind in the stem of the medulla oblongata, the stem of here, the two hemispheres here. And that is reflected here. In fact, if you see, the spine goes all the way from the back and comes on the top here, right? So it's very strange why, while everything is at the back, how this is suddenly in the front. Think about it, right? You have Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata. Anahata is at the heart. And then Vishuddhi, throat, behind the throat. And then suddenly Agnya is here, and then Sahasrara. So Agnya is only a reflection here. The actual Agnya is here. Above the Vishuddhi, it's right at the stem of the central nervous system. And the color that is appearing here for one who's able to establish in the Agnya is deep blue. Right? And it's also reflects, so the other area, the whole Agnya is kind of in a certain range, right? It also is the place where the Shikha is kept for Brahmin kids and those who are practicing the Vedic way of life. They keep a Shikha, right? And the Shikha is around that area of the Agnya, because they cover that space or that energy, they protect that space because it helps them to raise their energies. So Chikura also means a mountain. So this is like a mountain here, like a mold. So Neela Chikura is also a representation that shows Mother, Divine Mother, in this aspect of the Agnya Chakra within me, in my deepest state of communion with her. Right? She appears here. And why it is Nirguna Upasana here? Why is it placed in Nirguna Upasana? Because the moment you come to Agnya, you are dissolving duality. The difference between Saguna and Nirguna is Saguna is always in the realm of duality. High, low, good, bad. It is always in the realm of duality. Nirguna is in the realm of non-duality, which is why Shiva's eye here, when the third eye opens, it's the eye of wisdom. In fact, in Bible, there is a quote that says, when your eye becomes one, your body shall be full of light. When your eye becomes one, your body will be full of light. So what is meant here is, by Neela Chikura, you're talking about the Nirguna Avastha of Devi. Where? Within you. Where? In the Agnya. So, Om Neela Chikuraye Namaha. So that is the place where we perceive her. In the eye of wisdom. Advaita Darshanam. Okay. Close panikla. So we saw today Nistulaye Namaha, Neela Chikuraye Namaha. Om Nistulaye Namaha, Om Neela Chikuraye Namaha. I am incomparable because I alone exist. Ekameva Advitiyam. I alone exist. And Neela Chikura means I exist in the Agnya as that non-dual principle. Okay. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Svabhava Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikayeti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namah.